Oh, my name's Fox. So I can have I should put something on the screen. Yeah. Oh, my name's Fox. So I can have Fox. And this is My Hero Academia Vigilantes episode 7? I believe it's 7. I know I'm late. I checked like the thing. I'm like, holy shit, I'm 3 weeks late on a lot of this. But anyways, this is something I want. I was thinking like I could just watch them all together again because I waited so long. But I'm like, I feel like I kind of skip over a lot if I do kind of congeal it all. So, anyways, My Hero Academia, the one where Lois Lane is kind of like classic Lois Lane, where pretty much Crawler, this whole episode pretty much is Crawler. Well, it starts off with Crawler in the college, and their version of Lois Lane kind of comes up to him and goes, "Hey, you don't worry about that. You need help with this." Like pretty much helping him with like his work, and he's like, "Oh, thank you." And she's like, "There's a way you could help me." And I can't remember. I think she offered to follow. Let me see. Knows about this. His rep. Oh yeah, she knows like about the rep of like him being like the creepy guy who lives in like an abandoned building. Also, she's slightly older, but yeah, Lois pretty much says like, hey, like I think she's the one that said she kind of gave a little bit of help and it said like that she'll come over to help him study. He's like, great, which is really funny because when they eventually do go back there, Pop Step was there and she was just like, I think she was reading or doing her own work, and then like she heard them coming. She's like, "Oh shit!" She hid in the bed. And she's just been hiding there. Koichi walks in to make sure everything's clean. And just starts throwing garbage on top of her when not knowing she was there. And pretty much they have a whole thing about like the hero society and all this stuff. And eventually Lois Lane even brings up saying like how this hero society started. That hero society started with vigilantes. That back in the day, vigilantes were like kind of the law in a sense, and like they were protecting their homes, they're protecting where they live with their powers. And it really started in America, and it's really interesting because kind of like what she's describing is kind of why, if I understand correctly, it's kind of why like gangs kind of started a little bit. Like street gangs, like the police weren't doing it or couldn't do anything, so the gangs acted as the street and police stuff like that, which you can kind of see a little bit of that still with certain things, but nowadays the gangs use their numbers and stuff for profit, obviously, and then they make money selling or doing terrible shit or being just completely stupid. But it is kind of similar in a sense where vigilantes were like the proto-heroes at the time. And even then, cops are pretty much just a new gang. We're just a legalized gang, if you really think about it, if you know a cop. But anyways, so brings up about vigilantes like that, and brings up like how the Hero Registration Act, like I think like out of like 200 people, it only registered like about 5 people as heroes. Everyone else was disqualified for it. And apparently one of the reasons for that may have been just to like push away the idea for vigilantes and certain heroes, stuff like that. And that's when we kind of got to divide, and then some vigilantes, and also so that we can mark those vigilantes who didn't go with the system as villains. And then so pretty much you kind of have that breakup right there of like, and even then you have the whole setup with like the idea of like some villains see themselves as heroes. Like if you look at Stain or certain other characters, like you see other villains as heroes, and even on top of that, some of the villains are kind of heroes, or at least are fighting against a system that was corrupt. So there's a really cool like showing of that there. Anyways, the main character, they're primitive heroes. I'm trying to look at my notes here. Secret identity done right. But so pretty much oh yeah, and then pretty much is it Koichi? I can't remember his name. Pretty much says, "Oh wow, that's great, thank you for that." And he's like, "How can I pay you back?" And Lois Lane goes like, "Oh, I know how. You can help me. Like you live in this area, right?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, obviously. Well, I'm kind of messing up, but yeah, he lives in this area." He's like, "Oh, good, because like I'm writing a piece about the vigilantes, the Knuckle Grandpa, the Pop Step, and then the Crawler, the Crawler, because they can't for some reason keep missing Crawler." So So he's like, sure. Eventually she leaves, pops out. He's like, what the hell are you doing here? And she's like, really? You're going to help her with this? He's like, yeah, it's probably best anyways. I can lead them away or whatever. Which, honestly, it is a cool way to, like, switch the narrative with, like, to try to lead her in a different direction if need be. Also, he's trying to show how cool he is. But eventually, they then next day meets up with her. Actually, I think they show that Lois Lane is actually the sister of All Might's, like, best friend cop. Like, and, like, she's, like, writing reports of that. Her eyes are, she wears contacts, which I think, like, is just, like, a character thing. I don't think there's, like, anything really special beyond she just wants to wear contacts because without it, like, she has, like, no pupils. But I'm like, oh, that's cool. But anyway, so yeah, she's, in a sense, a little bit tied in with All Might and her cop brother, and pretty much she's like, I'm gonna figure this all out and figure out about these guys. And so next day they start interviewing people around, like, the Vigilantes neighborhood, which they go to Cyclops and Wolverine. And they're like, yeah. She's like, oh yeah, let me tell you. Like, I want to know more about the Crawler. And like, oh, the Crawler, eh? And they're like giving Koichi and he's like, shut up. He's like, shut up. But pretty much, they get, she starts interviewing different people, interviews them, saying how great he is. People saying like, oh, the Crawler's cool, but he might be also creepy. And then also, Pop has a nice butt, and Scary Grandpa's scary. And they even interview Queen Bee, which it's funny because Queen Bee, they interview her in a dark alleyway with her face shadowed. And like, it's like, really? I'm like, really? That's the best place you could have interviewed this person, in a dark alleyway. Alright. In the creepiest lighting. But yeah, and eventually at the end, I'm trying to think here. But at the very end, like, they have, like, a list of everything of everyone, and pretty much, like, ask everyone what everybody thinks, and for Pop Step, it was, they like her butt, cute, and she's cringy. For Knuckle, it's that he's scary, dangerous, and don't know. For Crawler, creepy, handy, decent, weird. And they're like, oh, well, I guess we got all the info we can about this. And like, yeah, you're right, and all this. And then eventually, a Penguin soccer player comes in and just starts kicking the ball, and takes the laptop and soccers his way through. And apparently his quirk is soccer, and even the narrator's like, is that a power? Is soccer a power? And also he's also like, is it not a mutie? I can't remember what it's called when they're like completely transformed, because he's actually a penguin, but his skill is soccer. And I'm like, I guess because, like, happy feet? Hand-eye coordination? That's what I would imagine. Anyways, kicks it, whatever, steals it in the crowd. Cyclops and Wolverine goes after it. Crawler, takes off his jacket or whatever and starts switching into his outfit, running away from Lois Lane. And Pop says, what are you doing? Like, she could get us in trouble. And I was like, he's like, yeah, but as long as I keep it hidden and everything, we should be fine. And I do like that, like, this is, like, I feel like the best way to do a secret identity. Because there is a lot in this one where it's like, there is a reason to hide his secret identity. Like, Popsep knows it. Like, the people who do know it are the people he can trust and are, like, his family or friends. Popsep, obviously, Knuckle, Wolverine, and Cyclops. Like, there's only so, like, it's not just one character, like, I must hide all of this alone together. And, like, or, like, hide it from the ones I love. It's like, no, like, these are technically, like, his loved ones. He protects them and they protect him. Like, this is a good one. And he's obviously going to hide it from Lois Lane. But, yeah, so he switches his outfit, crawls out there, tries to trip with the Penguin. It really doesn't work. He does get a little beat up. I think he does kind of trip, but, like, Cyclops and Wolverine take him out. And then Koichi quickly switches back to his civilian clothes. He hands it like, yeah, the Crawler did this. Isn't it great? And then Wolverine And Cyclops is like, dude, we did most of the work. The hell do you mean the crawler did this? And they're like, yeah. They're like, oh, well, thank you and all this stuff. And then she shakes his hand, and then we hear that I can't remember, I think her quirk is called polymorph. But I think they got it wrong. Or they don't, because polymorph is the ability to transform, I thought. But in this, it's like, I can't remember, a poly test? What is it? It's like a something, like it's a lie detector. She's a living lie detector. Poly lie detector. Polygraph. Yeah, they call it polymorph, if I remember it correctly, but it's polygraph. And the idea is that if she shakes someone's hand by telling everything like that, if they're lying to her, she will know. And shakes her hand, and she goes, are you the crawler? And he doesn't know this. She's just trying to get it out. And Koichi goes, no. Are you the crawler? No. Why the hell would I be the crawler? And no. And then she's like, oh, I could have okay, well, bye. And leaves, says, like, we should do this again, whatever. Leaves, goes home, starts writing her report, and tells her brother, like, she thinks she came up at kind of at a dead end. She thought she knew who the crawler was, or the crawler was. And then we cut back to the apartment. Everyone's kind of just hanging. Those three are just hanging out, and Koichi's like, "What do you like? Oh, no, I'm not the crawler. I'm the crawler. I'm not the crawler. God, why do they keep getting it wrong?" And I was like, "You were saved on a goddamn technicality, you idiot." It's funny though. They're cowboy walk. Oh, they do like a oh yeah. I think the Cyclops and Wolverine can do like a Cyclops walk away. But yeah, this episode was fun. This episode was a fun one. She apparently pops up a lot more from what I'm seeing. Again, now we're reaching the point where I have not read into the manga that far in this, so it is his new territory, which also cool. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen next. But yeah, this was a good episode. This was a fun one, and I'm now be able to watch the next episode. But thank you so much for watching. Check out all my videos. Hopefully enjoy this. I'm gonna record the Jurassic Park one next now, the video next now. But this was these episodes. I like Vigilantes too, and again, like I told my friends this, and like they don't agree with me, but I do. I love the theme song for this show, like a lot. Like this is a theme song where I will go back to listen to, or I will listen to it every time it's on. Whenever they switch out the theme song, it'll probably suck because I love this theme song so much. Like, this is a theme song where, like, it's kind of like the 4Kids, and some people are like, I hated that, but stick with me. The 4Kids theme songs for the animes were so good, and are some of the ones where I will go back to listen to constantly. I don't think I've ever listened to a regular Japanese theme song where I just wanted to listen to the music, or if I just wanted to go back and watch it again. Like, sometimes when they play, like, oh, that's a good Naruto one, that's a good My Hero one, and or whatever, and like, I'll hear the theme song, like, okay, that's pretty good. Skip. Like, I like, oh, I heard it once. Okay, that's cool. Skip over it. But I will, hi-yo, dreaming, don't give it up, Luffy. Like, yeah, anyways, this is a good one. Anyways, thanks for watching the videos, and we'll see you later. Definitely want to see what's going to happen next, obviously, but, God, this is good. I want to know what's going to happen. I like how street level this all is. Like, this is legit street level, but also, like, it makes sense also for certain things, and also this is kind of what I kind of want to see in a superhero story, so this is great.